Grand Rising, kings and queens. Today is all about celebrating the magic of women in business. Those who dare to start, who refuse to settle, and who lead by both strategy and soul. Whether you're a CEO, a side hustler, or a dreamer on the edge of your breakthrough, know this: your light matters. Sip slow, breathe deep, and walk boldly. This morning is yours. Our affirmation of the day is I am aligned, equipped, and fearless in pursuit of what is mine. I do not shrink for comfort. I expand with purpose. Our word of the day is tenacity, which is persistent determination to keep going even when success feels far away. Our slang word of the day is pressure. To perform confidently, dominate a situation, or move with intentional boldness without backing down. All right, on to our news for today. New York, Mayor Adams announces new small business relief grants targeting minority-owned startups hit by high commercial rents. City transit officials also confirmed the late-night subway service restorations beginning this weekend. Community leaders call it a small but needed win for workers on overnight shifts. Los Angeles, cleanup efforts continue along the 110 freeway after Monday's tanker spill that shut down 2 lanes near downtown. Air quality readings have improved, though motorists should expect residual delays. City crews say full reopening is expected by Thursday morning. Chicago, temperatures dropped overnight as early season winds sweep through the Midwest. City shelters expanded hours to help unhoused residents as forecasts hint at the first frost of the season. Meanwhile, the Chicago's Teachers League Union begins talks over new safety funding for aged school buildings. Houston, flood control projects are on the top of the mind after heavy weekend rainfalls swamped several southwest neighborhoods. Mayor Whitmore announced an emergency infrastructure review to strengthen drainage systems before hurricane season's final stretch. Local nonprofits are coordinating cleanup and supply drives for affected families. Atlanta, Hartsfield-Jackson Airport prepares for record travel ahead of fall break week, advising passengers to arrive at least 2 hours early. The City Council approves initiatives for film crews returning to Georgia after recent strikes. Crews are already setting up downtown for new streaming services. Miami, beach erosion remains a concern after back-to-back tropical storms skirted South Florida. County engineers say sand replacement trucks will hit the shoreline within days. Tourism officials insist the beaches will be camera ready for holiday visitors. Washington, D.C., lawmakers resume debate over small business tax credits tied to clean energy expansion. The White House also unveiled new apprenticeship initiatives for veterans entering tech fields. Metro riders will see the late night service extended through the end of the year. Tampa, city leaders break ground on the East Riverwalk expansion, adding green space and bike lanes through Uber. The mayor says the $45 million project will reshape how locals connect with the waterfront. Businesses along the route expect tourism to boost by next spring. Tarpon Springs, Greek Heritage Festival kicks off this weekend with record vendor turnout. Organizers anticipate over 20,000 visitors and significant local business revenue. Police remind attendees that street closures begin Friday at 5 p.m. Milwaukee, Brewers fans gather for a bittersweet postseason send-off after last night's elimination game. City officials plan a thank you rally celebrating the team's record regular season run. Meanwhile, debate heats up over plans for a new downtown arena district. Jackson, Mississippi. The state health department launches a new campaign targeting hypertension and stroke awareness across the capital region. Governor Reeves emphasized prevention through community clinics and free screenings. Public health officials say the program could reach 50,000 residents by year end. Toronto. City Council votes to expand rent stabilization measures through 2026 amid housing cost spikes. TTC confirms fare-free rides for children under 12 starting next month. Analysts call it a family-friendly win during tough economic times. Vancouver. Heavy rain warnings issued for the lower mainland as the Pacific front moves inland. Crews are on standby for possible mudslides near North Shore trails. BC Hydro urges residents to charge devices and secure outdoor items. Kingston, Jamaica. The Ministry of Education rolls out digital learning tablets to 20 new primary schools island-wide. Prime Minister Holness praised the initiative as closing the technology gap for the next generation. Parents welcome the change, saying it eases homework stress. Montego Bay. Airport expansion enters phase 2 with added customs lanes and new duty-free shops. Tourism officials expect smoother arrivals ahead of the winter season. Local artisans celebrate the project's promise to feature Jamaican-made goods in airport stores. Ocho Rios. Cruise season officially reopens with 4 major liners docking this week. Port Authority predicts a 25% increase in visitors over last year. Small vendors line Turtle River Road, offering handcrafted souvenirs and island spices. Negril. Environmental activists launch a coral reef restoration drive in partnership with UWI scientists. Early tests show improved water clarity along the 7-mile beach. Hoteliers pledge funding to expand reef nurseries by 2026. Cayman Islands. Financial regulators unveil new anti-fraud reporting rules for offshore firms. Premier Patton says the move boosts global transparency and investor confidence. Tourism officials, meanwhile, celebrate the return of non-stop flights from Dallas to Toronto. Nassau. Tourism Ministry reports record cruise ship arrivals for October as U.S. travel rebounds. The Port Authority warns of temporary taxi shortages near Prince George Wharf during peak hours. Local merchants call the influx a blessing after slow months. Onto the weather. New York, you have a high of 71 degrees with cloudy conditions in the morning and clearing in the afternoon. Los Angeles, a high of 83 with sunny and dry skies. Chicago, a high of 64, breezy and cool. Houston, high of 88 and mostly sunny. Atlanta, high of 80 with clear skies throughout the day. Miami, high of 86 with isolated coastal showers. Washington, D.C., high of 74 and partly cloudy. Tampa, high of 85 and mostly sunny. Tarpon Springs, high of 84, clear in the evening. Milwaukee, high of 61, cool and cloudy. Jackson, Mississippi, high of 87, sunny with scattered PM clouds. Toronto, high of 63, cloudy early, clearing later in the afternoon. Vancouver, high of 57, with rain showers throughout the day. Kingston, high of 90, hot with brief rain in the afternoon. Montego Bay, high of 89, with sunshine with short showers. Ocho Rios, high of 88 and mostly sunny. Negril, high of 87, sunny with a slight haze throughout the day. Cayman Islands, 86, high of 86 and mostly sunny throughout the day. And Nassau is going to be high of 88, warm and partly sunny. All right, on to sports. All right, in the NBA, our pre-NBA schedule, the games from yesterday, there was the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chicago took the win with 118-117. And then there was the Indiana Pacers at the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Indiana took the lead with 135-134. In baseball, it was the Mariners over the Tigers, 8-4. The Yankees over the Blue Jays with 9-6. In other sports, as I related yesterday, WWE wrestling, the Hardy Boys won the NXT Tag Team titles in a winner-take-all match versus Dark State. And also on Raw, Roman Reigns returned. CM Punk and LA Knight defeated. The USOs and Becky Lynch suffered a surprise loss. So Jamaica highlights and scores where national teams, Jamaica remains undefeated in FIFA World Cup qualifying. Track and field highlights, Keyshawn Thompson ran a world-leading 9.75 seconds in the 100 meters. Nikisha Price broke the 49s barrier in the 49-second barrier in the 400 meter, and Tina Clayton clocked 10.81 seconds in the 100 meter, and Megan Tapper won her fourth 100-meter hurdle title with a PBA of 12.34 seconds. Games today. In baseball, we're going to have the Toronto against the Yankees in Game 4. Seattle at Detroit in Game 4. There will also be Milwaukee and Chicago for Game 3, and Philadelphia and the Dodgers for their Game 3. NBA, they're going to be the San Antonio at Miami, Portland at Golden State, Jazz versus the Rockets, and the Raptors versus the Kings. In WNBA, Las Vegas at Phoenix for Game 3. Alrighty. All right, we are going to get into our daily feature segment for today, which, as we all know, is Women in Business. And And today's spotlight, I have as my guest today, Miss Tiffany. Miss Tiffany is the founder of Women Empowerment 2.0. Miss Tiffany is more than just a name. She is a mission in motion with a vision rooted in mentorship and transformation. She reaches thousands of women weekly. Miss Tiffany is changing the narrative around what it means to lead with both heart and hustle. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Tiffany.
It is frozen on my end. I don't know if that's mine or hers.
What's going on with that?
Is it frozen?
Oh, there you are. I didn't know
Like
if you
I
could hear me or
can't
not.
hear nothing.
Oh no,
But I'm here.
you're here. Okay. Welcome to Mel B's Quick Start in the morning. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Okay. Let's get right into it. Give us a synopsis of what the Women Empowerment 2.0 Summit is.
Okay. So, how I founded Woman Empowerment 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Tiffany, and Woman Empowerment 2.0 was born out of a deep need for healing, mine, so many others like me. Before I ever went live on TikTok, I lived through things that shaped me into a woman I am today. Growing up, I didn't always feel safe or heard. I spent time in the foster care system where life was filled with uncertainty, broken promises, and nights that felt too long for a child to carry. I learned early how to survive, how to stay strong, and how to hold my head up even when everything inside of me wanted to give up. So, as I said, I am the founder of Women Empowerment 2.0. I did start this on TikTok. Before I got on TikTok, I was just a regular live host, just out there to be a host and engage and meet people. Um, it started with a group of 6 girls. I founded it then when I was with them, and then I fell off with them. They carried on with the woman empowerment, and I had let go.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the mood of wanting to give up because I felt like they took what belonged to me. And then later on, I just gained that the faith and the strength to go and take back what was mine, but make it bigger and stronger.
Okay. Okay. Um, is there any way you could possibly turn on your camera?
Yeah, I'm here.
There
I don't
you
know how
are.
good the lighting is. There.
Okay. So thank you. Um, I have been on your live when you have had the summit, and just talking about your story. Is there anything that you feel comfortable with sharing about your story?
So I grew up in the foster care system at the age of 12. I was a sibling of 2 others. I was the oldest. We were all taken at the same time. Eventually, on the journey of the foster care system, we were all split up within a year. I did not grow up with my siblings. I was in a separate home due to me being an older child. In the
Mhm.
foster care system, it is harder for an older child to be placed because foster care, foster parents do not want older kids. They are less to be manipulated. They come with a lot of problems, a lot of struggles, a lot of trauma. Like I said, they cannot be manipulated. So a foster mom or a foster father cannot tell them that, their parents don't ever want them back, or that they're not loved and that's why they were given up and they're not wanted by them. So only new people can want them in their life. It's easier for a younger child to adapt to those lies, versus a older child who knows better. So like I said, I was taken at 12 and I did not come back to my family till I was 20, only due to the fact that I was supposed to be in the system to 21, but at 20 I had got pregnant with my first child, which was my daughter, and I then aged out of the system and went out on the journey of my own as being a, first time mom, independent. I did live on my own for a while with the state's help and government assistance through DCFS. But at 20, when I got pregnant, it was just time to let go of them and be on my own in my own journey. One of my sisters did come home during that year. My other sister did not. She was my younger one. And she stayed in the system until she aged out and went to college.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now you have a very you have a testimony with a lot more other details. However, um, is your summit something that you want to get out to the masses of women that have gone through the same thing? Um, I know it's to bring women together with the same stories and not with the same stories. Is this like foster care system meets all other kind of, let's just say, things that aren't very enlightening in the foster care system?
I
I
think
know
the
there
fo-
is the,
I think the foster care system falls in line with a lot of things that we struggle in life, because even if you're not in foster care, we struggle with things like financial. We struggle with instability. We struggle with friendships, trust, and being vulnerable to a lot of things, and that's just everyday society. We
mhm,
all grow up around that, and in some way, somehow, we even become that sometimes, and we have to learn to shape our way out of that and shape our way differently. I feel that growing up in the foster system did shape me differently, only because it made me grow up quicker. It made me grow, older in my age than what I needed to be. My mind was a lot wiser than children my age at the time. And I think that I took a lot from it, even during the abuse and the mental stress and depression that I had faced during those years. You know, I had that on one side of my head, but on the other side of my head, I had learned a whole new world about myself and had to raise myself primarily. And I had to teach myself because I didn't always have the best teachers and the best people in my life in the foster care. And that
mhm,
just goes with the same in life. We don't always surround ourselves with positive people or the best people, or we may not even be able to find the best people out there.
mhm,
But we have to learn to adapt to that type of world. While adapting to that type of world, we also have to bring ourselves to a level of understanding mentally that even if we're not around it, we still have ourself. We
right.
have who we are and what we learned and how to carry that out into society and the world. So I think foster care bumps into the real life in a lot of ways.
Do you find that with because of you actually having a past um, within the foster care system, it's easier to talk about it to other women and also help other women going through the same thing or children that are going through the same thing? And second part of the question is, do you find a lot of more younger women um, coming onto your summit for guidance?
Well, I recently did write a book. I wrote a book of my life in the foster care system. It is not out on shelves yet. It is in the process of getting there.
Okay.
But it does detail a lot of my life in the system and what I had went through. Um, as me doing Women Empowerment 2.0, I have brought the foster care system into my scenario of my live streaming. I have found that a lot of younger women adapt to it, but I've also had some older women who've been on there that's been through it, but they're way older than me now, and they have trauma. They have stories. They have things that they can teach other people. They have knowledge of inside the system, even
Mhm.
though back in their days, in my days, the system was different. It's really not as different because the system was broken then and the system's broken now.
Mhm.
It's just gotten worse over time as far as it being broken. And I feel like, when I get the older women on there, we bring a lot of information and power to the younger ones who's still struggling, the ones who still are
Mhm.
facing trauma, and
Mhm.
ones that are just not ready to tell their story yet.
Right, right, right. And there are too many. Um, there, 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 there's a lot more than actually want to come on and say something. You get the ones that just want to come and they want to listen, but they don't want to participate as of yet, thinking they might say something wrong or give out too much information about themselves. And it really shouldn't be looked at that way. We can all get help in anywhere we can pull it from. Um, and okay, my next question would be for you is, where do you plan on um, taking Women 2.0 over the next year?
Over the next year, I plan to build my platform on TikTok as of for right now, just so I can build a larger setting of people, women. And then I want to carry it out to podcasting. Like I said, I did write my book, so eventually within the year, that'll be on the shelves for people to buy as well. And then once I go into podcasting, YouTube and things like that, I will be able to bring that audience over to other platforms that I go on to.
Okay. Okay. Just give us a little bit more information on when and where we can find you.
So I am currently on TikTok right now. I am not on other platforms as far as Women 2.0. But what I do bring to my TikTok platform is a safe room, safe space with safe women of all walks of life. They can be young, older, it doesn't matter. If they have a story, whether it's foster care, whether it's any kind of other trauma they bring, or they have been through, I'm there. My room is there. My women who come to my room are there. We are safe to talk around. You can let anything out. We do not discriminate. We do not judge. Zero toleration for any of that. And we
Mhm.
are there to lend that shoulder for you to lean on, lend that ear for you to talk to. And if you want advice, we're there to give you advice. If you're not ready for the advice, you just let us know and we'll be quiet and we'll just listen to you and let you get your trauma out.
Okay. And what is your TikTok handle so people can
So
find
I
you?
am Tiffany Artist on there. I am changing my whole screen name right now, but you can find me under Tiffany Artist.
Mhm.
And if you follow any of my friends, you'll know exactly where to find me because they're always in my live 24/7. So, and if you know Mel, she's in my live, so she could
Yeah,
definitely hand you the information as well.
will do, will do. And it is which day?
I do women empowerment on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share about women empowerment, or just a word of advice to anyone in the foster care system at this time, or just wanting to have a voice?
So again, before I had went live on TikTok, I lived through things that shaped me into the woman I am today. Growing up, I didn't always feel safe or heard. I spent time in the foster care system where life was filled with uncertainty, broken promises, and nights that felt too long for me to carry. But I also learned something powerful, that pain can grow purpose. Every tear, every struggle, every time I was overlooked or misunderstood became a fuel for something greater. I just didn't know it yet at the time. When I found TikTok, I didn't come to build a brand. I came to find connection. I saw a world full of women sharing makeup, dances, and trends, but I kept wondering, where are the spaces where we can really talk? When we can open about things we've survived, the things that still hurt, and the healing we still walk through. One night I went live. I didn't plan it. I just spoke on my heart and I said, to my live. Welcome to my live with all women are women to share real life testimonies in a safe place with safe women where starting small is aiming big. And that from that day is how I became Woman Empowerment 2.0. Not from perfection, but from purpose. Women
Mhm.
started showing up. They came from different backgrounds, different cities to meet the heart. We laughed, we cried, prayed, and spoke truth. We talked about foster care, motherhood, faith, trauma, love, and finding ourselves after being broken. We became a community not of just followers, but of sisters. Every live turned into something special, a moment where a woman could release what they had been holding on to find comfort in others and understanding. I saw healing happening through honesty, and I saw strength return to women who thought it had been lost. So, this is not just story time. This is not just a TikTok live or being a TikTok live host. You
Mhm.
know, today's Woman Empowerment 2.0 isn't just like TikTok Live or Facebook or any other platform. It is a movement. It's a reflection of women who rise again and again. No matter how many times life tries to break them, it's about a sisterhood, truth, and the beauty of real heal. We sparkle not because our lives are perfect, but because we've walked through the darkness and learned how to shine anyways.
Okay, I like that. I like that. If there was anything about the foster care system at this point, what would you want to see changed?
It's nice that you asked that because I do ask that when I read about my book. I have those questions at the end of my book reading that I do on TikTok as well. And I ask people that same question. If you can change anything in the foster care system, whether you've been through it or not been through it, but have knowledge of it, like what would you change?
Mhm.
I get a lot of people saying they don't know because a lot haven't been through it, or I get people saying there's no such thing as change in the foster care system because it's broken and it stays broken. But to me, I think there's change for everything, even people. But there is definitely change for foster care. I think if they took more time to understand a child, to build a relationship with the child, to understand their background instead of judging, I think that could definitely be a change for a child to understand what is going on with them. I
Mhm.
feel that the foster care system judges a lot. I feel like they get paid to just judge and to pretend that they understand what you're going through when they may have never experienced what you're going through. But because they're being paid or they have some type of diploma or they have some type of certificate of college to be that
Mhm.
therapist, to be that counselor,
Mhm.
doesn't mean you understand what I went through.
Right.
Like, don't judge me.
Mhm.
You took me from my family already. Like, don't judge me. Don't say you understand because you don't understand. I feel like if
Yeah.
they could put themselves in that place with you and at least pretend to know what you're going through,
Mhm.
I think we'd go a long way in the foster care system. But because they don't do that, that's why it's so broken, and there is a breakage between the people who run the foster care system and the children who are in it because we don't trust one another.
True. True. I agree. I agree. Well, I won't keep you on any longer. I just want to, first of all, of course, say thank you for coming and sharing Women Empowerment 2.0 with us. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday evening. And I would definitely, definitely hope to have you back again.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, and y'all have a blessed day.
Same to you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Bye bye. That was awesome. Okay, on with the show. Our book club. We're still reading 48 Laws of Power. We are on Law 19, which is know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This law teaches us that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every opponent fights fair. Some people hold grudges like currency and waiting to cash in when you least expect it. Whether it's in business or in personal life, you must assess egos, pride, and personality types before you challenge, confront, or correct someone. Power isn't just about knowing when to speak, it's also about knowing when silence is more strategic. All right, our cause of the day is stroke. A stroke happens when the brain's blood supply is interrupted or reduced, cutting off oxygen and nutrients to the brain tissue. Within minutes, brain cells could die. It's often called a brain attack, and just like a heart attack, every second counts. There are two major types of strokes. There is the hemorrhagic stroke. This occurs when the weakened blood vessel ruptures and bleeds into the brain, putting dangerous pressure on surrounding tissue. And then there is the ischemic stroke. I hope I pronounced that right. That is the most common type, caused by a blood clot or fatty deposit or plaque blocking an artery to the brain. Roughly 85% of all strokes fall into this category. There is a third condition called TIA, or mini stroke, that happens when blood flow is blocked only for a short time. TIAs don't cause permanent damage, but they're a red flag that a major stroke could follow in the future. Common causes of a stroke are high blood pressure or hypertension, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, obesity, poor diet, stress, or a sedentary lifestyle, or a family history, or a previous stroke. Recognizing the signs, think FAST, fast, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, and T, it means it's time to call 911. Other symptoms can include confusion, severe headache, blurred vision, dizziness, or loss of balance. For prevention measures, manage your blood pressure. Keep it under 120/80 when possible. Lifestyle changes or medications can help. Exercise regularly. Even 30 minutes of walking, dancing, or light strength work 5 days a week can reduce the risk dramatically. Eat smart. Focus on fruits, veggies, lean proteins, and whole grains. Avoid sodium and processed food. Quit smoking. Limit alcohol. Monitor your health conditions. Keep diabetes and cholesterol under control through regular checkups. And stress management. Meditation, journaling, and rest matter as much as movement. Um, Resources and support. There is the American Stroke Association. There is the CDC. There is the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Strokes, and the World Stroke Organization. All of these can be found at www.cdc.gov/stroke. All right. Our fun fact of the day. It is National Inter Beauty Day. Today is about more than filters, lashes, or what's trending on your feed. It's about loving the parts of yourself the world can't see. National Inner Beauty Day reminds us to honor kindness, resilience, and authenticity. It's also tied to advocacy for survivors of domestic violence, encouraging self worth and confidence from the inside out. So take a minute today to affirm yourself, your power, your purpose, your peace. And our fun fact of today is, did you know the human brain generates enough electricity to power a low watt light bulb? Even at rest, your neurons are firing 24/7. That's about 20 watts of raw energy inside your head right now. So the next time you say you're mentally drained, it's not just a figure of speech. You're literally you losing power. All right, on to our history facts of the day. One, Marsha Johnson, a Black trans advocate is and pioneer of the LGBTQ plus rights movement. Johnson played a key role in the Stonewall Uprising and in founding Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, or STAR. Ernie Barnes, a professional football player turned artist best known for his painting, The Sugar Shack, which is famously used on the show Good Times and Marvin Gaye's album cover. Gwendolyn Brooks, the first African American to win a Pulitzer Prize for poetry. Her work captivated and captured the beauty, pain, and power of Black life in Chicago. Charles Hamilton Houston, often called the man who killed Jim Crow. Houston was the architect behind the legal strategy that dismantled segregation in America. As a mentor to Thurgood Marshall, he used education and the courts as his battleground, laying the groundwork for landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision. His work transformed the NAACP's legal arm into one of the most powerful forces in the civil rights history. Our inventors, George Crumb, credited with inventing the potato chip in 1853 after a customer complained about thick fries. He sliced them razor thin, fried them to a crisp, and made history. Dr. Shirley, Dr. Shirley Jackson. Her breakthrough in telecommunications led to inventions such as the portable fax, touch-tone phones, fiber optic cables, and caller ID. Charles Drew developed the process of storing blood plasma, which revolutionized emergency medicine and led to the creation of the first blood banks. All right, our quote of the day is, don't wait around for other people to be happy for you. Any happiness you get, you got to make yourself. By Alice Walker. Our song of the day is going to be by Jill Scott, The Way. All right, on to music and entertainment news. Ludacris to host the hip hop entrepreneur docuseries spotlighting independent Black-owned labels. Victoria Monet confirms tour and live album release after Grammy buzz. All right, and celebrity gossip, we have rumors swirl around Zendaya's next major film role in an Angela Davis biopic. Saweetie's fashion line goes viral after surprise New York Fashion Week pop-up, and Queen Latifah quietly funds scholarships at 3 HBCUs. Celebrity birthdays today, we have Tasha Smith is 54, Lorenz Tate is 50, and Marcy Martin is 21. All right, our tech tip of the day is Otter.ai for voice transcriptions. Turn your meetings, interviews, or brainstorming sessions into text with pinpoint accuracy. It's ideal for business owners, content creators, and speakers who need reliable transcripts for repurposing or resharing. The best part, it learns your voice the more you use it. All right, our finance tip of the day is high yield savings accounts. These accounts earn significantly more interest than standard savings. Look for ones with no monthly fees, automatic transfers, and mobile access. Perfect for emergency funds, short term goals, or stacking quiet money while you sleep. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe for today is slow braised oxtails with rich gravy, buttered rice, and sauteed cabbage with smoked turkey. Our beverage with that today, hold on, that is too long. Our drink of the day would be brown sugar bourbon lemonade. And that sounds awesome. Bourbon, sugar, brown sugar, lemon, simple syrup, cold water or club soda, and a pinch of cinnamon if you so choose. All right. Men's health tip for today. Men, stress doesn't always show up as emotion. Sometimes it's fatigue, anger, and isolation. Regular exercise, proper hydration, and 7 hours of sleep are non-negotiable. Get annual blood pressure and check cholesterol checks. And if you're 40 plus, schedule that prostate screening. Preventive care beats emergency care every time. Once again, I'm going to say it. Men, go to the doctor. Men, go to the doctor. Women, listen to your hormones. Cycle-related fatigue, mood swings, or brain fog aren't just part of life. Maintain iron, vitamin D, and magnesium levels. Aim for balanced meals and consistent rest. Schedule yearly mammograms and pap smears and protect your peace. Emotional health directly affects physical well-being. And relationship tip, be the safe space you want in others. Emotional security is built over time through small moments of truth and consistency. Relationship advice pertaining to couples. Healthy relationships are built on emotional fluency. If you can't name what you feel, your partner can't carry it. Be honest. Be curious about your inner world too. The strongest couples grow through discomfort, not just romance. Friendships. True friendships evolve. Check in on your people, not to be nosy, but because you love them. Celebrate their wins, but also make room for their grief. Friendship is an emotional mirror, not just a highlight reel. And family isn't perfect, but it's where our patterns are formed. Healing those patterns takes courage, boundaries, and sometimes space. Choose growth over guilt. It's okay to honor your family while changing the narrative. All right, on to horoscopes. Extended. Aries, you're in executive mode. Channel that fiery energy into finishing what you started. Discipline is your weapon today. Taurus, stability feels good, but stagnation doesn't. Make one small financial or lifestyle shift that moves you closer to peace. Gemini, communication is your currency. Use it to build bridges, not burn them. Someone important is finally ready to listen. Cancer, your nurturing energy is magnetic. Don't pour from an empty cup. Set boundaries before burnout. Virgo, the details matter, but perfection is a trap. Progress beats paralysis. Take the step. Leo, your light attracts attention, but leadership requires humility. Share the stage and watch your influence multiply. Libra, relationships highlight where balance is missing. Speak truth with grace. Clarity is love in action. Scorpio, transformation season isn't over. Let go of what is old, grudge. Let go of that old grudge or story. It's costing you peace. Sagittarius, adventure calls, even in small ways. Book the trip, take the course, or start the project. Movement fuels your magic. Capricorn, structure equals freedom. Tighten your routine, and your creativity will finally breathe. Aquarius, collaboration brings breakthroughs. Lean into community. Your ideas need witnesses. Pisces, your intuition is a GPS. Stop ignoring it. Dreams hold answers, so write them down before they distract you. All right, upcoming events. Today is Wednesday, and we have a show on Lux Radio debuting today called Women Unscripted at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in and enjoy the ride. Tomorrow, there is Chief and Go at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I would also like to shout out to our sponsors, Bellow Burn Hot Sauce, Flavor That Bites Back, RAS Herbals, Wellness the Natural Way, and also Colorane Candles, where scent meets soul. So in closing today, let this Wednesday be a reminder. You're your own legacy in motion. Walk like the answer. Speak like the blueprint. And never let comfort make you forget how much power lives inside your persistence. And remember, I said what I said, period.